Helltown, once a normal town like any other, became a catalyst for terrifying legends. It all starts with the Congress in 1974 when they passed a law allowing the federal government to acquire land in order to establish the Cuyahoga Valley National Recreation Area. As the government worked to take the land, they forced the residents out of their homes and closed roads leading to old neighborhoods. The old graveyard in Boston has its fair share of legends as well. One has it that if you're not paying attention, the trees around you will shift, move, and try to confuse you as to keep you in the cemetery. There is also a ghost that sits on a bench and stares at you until you notice him, then fades away into thin air. Nobody has yet been able to identify this apparition. Stafford Road trails just off the town square and leads all the way to the Stafford House and Barn. One of the most prevalent legends of this area is that the government took the land in order to dump toxic chemicals or radioactive waste in the area. They then forced the locals out as not to raise suspicion if they started dying or obtaining mutations. It's also stated that there is a Wendigo in the area. The government obtained the land in order to study the mythological creature but backed out when their soldiers started dying rapidly. Many more conspiracies have been created, such as the FBI doing and learning about the uses of black magic, a truly dark take on the morals of our government that we can all hope are false. The land here holds a spine-chilling sort of fright that even the bravest of souls can feel. A Wendigo is a mythological creature of Algonquian lore. It is a man-like creature that has the ability to mimic the voices of anyone and anything. It will camouflage itself within the forest and trick people into following into the woods, where it can then eat them. A Wendigo can be identified as a tall, slender human body with a deer skull and antlers. If spotted, it's often too late to escape, for this creature is known for its tricky and brutal tactics when it comes to hunting humans. The next legend of the area is that a Wendigo killed 2 children in the area before the government took the land. There was also a claim that a teen was eaten by a Wendigo in 2016. However, the locals say that it was just a bear attack. Fortunately, there were never any children or teens found dead or even missing. The one legend that just might be true is the proof of a satanic cult in the area. In many of the abandoned buildings, there seem to be markings of evil and dark origins, such as the Mark of the Beast, pentagrams, and many other symbols. This could easily be mere teens painting these symbols, but the mind can only wonder if that is the reality. In all seriousness, there have been sightings of groups of men in black robes in the surrounding hills. It is said that these men use the old churches as cover for their nefarious deeds. It's very popular to blame any unfortunate occurrence on the cult, and they've woven their way into many of the legends of Helltown. They have been blamed for killings and kidnappings of people that happen to wander too far into the woods. If you're unlucky, you may find yourself surrounded by Satanists near the end of the world. It's even stated that at the end of old inaccessible roads is where the cultists live and commit unspeakable acts. However, there have been some confirmed fake happenings, such as the shootout between the cultists and the cops where 14 people died in an apparent newspaper clipping. So is it a real cult, or just teens with nothing better to do? Other than Wendigos and cultists, there are said to be evil spirits that force people who drove on the road at night to crash their cars. The spirits would either possess a person or take control of the car and force an accident. There's also rumors of crazy people jumping out in front of your car in the dead of the night, or even an axe murder on the loose. These legends, however, can be easily disproved with common sense. One of the most prevalent myths is of an old bus just off the road, where a school bus full of children were killed. There are many explanations for who killed them, including an escaped convict or a mental patient, and even cultists. This is obviously fake, however, because the bus was used by a family whose house was uninhabitable and needed repairs. The authorities have since removed the bus due to people trespassing, trying to look for it. The legend of a crybaby bridge also haunts the woods of Boston, Ohio. Mothers who did not want a newborn child had a spot where they could get rid of the child. It's said that one of the bridges in Boston, Ohio was used by these mothers to dispose of their problem. If you drive or walk across the bridge at night, you might just be able to hear the cries of the babies who have met untimely fates by falling off the bridge. There are also tales of escaped mental patients and convicts that take cover in the foothills. They have been blamed for many things, including the killing of a bus full of children, jumping out at passing cars in the night, and most prevalent, the haunted hearse. If you found yourself out on one of the roads at night, a hearse might just appear and chase you from out of the area. Some people say that it all starts when you pass a house in which a man and his family used to live. In an attempt to keep him and his family's spirits in peace, he will try to chase anybody who approaches away. Some say the haunted hearse glows. Others say it only has one headlight. The explanation for this legend is that a family back in the day used to own a hearse, but only used it on Halloween to scare passerby drivers. This was confirmed by a historian at the Peninsula Library and Historical Society. In the end, all the legends of Boston, Ohio can be easily dismissed by facts and common sense. It is, however, a great source of horror in a bland area. People have made legends about Boston ever since they were forced to leave, and has done the area much good. In the end, Boston might not be the hell town most people imagine, but the people have forged stories that have made the area an icon, and the world a little bit more exciting.